Welcome back, Stoics. Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is something most people never want to admit out loud. There are people in this world who don't just dislike you. They don't just resent your success. They don't just hate you. Some people want to see you destroyed. Not embarrassed, not defeated, but erased. And the craziest part? They smile in your face while plotting your downfall behind your back. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. They lived in a world where betrayal wasn't rare, it was expected. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just warning himself about annoying people. He was reminding himself that some individuals carry darkness in their hearts so deep, they'd rather see you buried than blessed. Today, we're going to talk about that darkness. 5 signs, clear, brutal, undeniable, that someone doesn't just hate you, they want you gone. But before we get to those signs, let me tell you a story, a true one, and one that still hits like a punch to the gut. Because sometimes, the people you trust the most are the ones sharpening the knife. It was years ago. A man named Adrian, quiet, disciplined, focused, lived by a simple code. Don't bother anyone. Don't betray anyone. Do the work. Keep moving. He wasn't flashy. He didn't brag. He didn't start drama. He just stayed in his lane and tried to build something meaningful. But success, even quiet success, has a way of waking up demons in other people. Adrian had a friend, or so he thought, named Marcus. They had grown up together, survived hard times together, planned their futures side by side. Adrian thought this dude was family, a brother, the type of person you'd call at 3 a.m. and know they'd answer. But somewhere along the way, Marcus started to change. He smiled the same, acted the same, said the same things he'd always said. But something behind his eyes shifted, a tension, a bitterness, a strange silence buried beneath fake support. Adrian couldn't explain it, but he felt it. That subtle energy people try to hide when they start rooting against you. One night, Adrian overheard something he was never supposed to hear. Marcus laughing with someone else, mocking him, tearing apart his dreams, saying he'd never make it, and that one day, he'd make sure Adrian finally fails. Not hope he fails, not predict he fails, but make sure he fails. That's when Adrian realized the truth. Not everyone who's close to you wants to see you rise. Some want a front row seat to your downfall. This is why the Stoics warned us, beware the smiling enemy, because hate hides behind politeness, jealousy hides behind compliments, and danger hides behind familiarity. So let's start with the first sign, the one that's almost always invisible until it's too late. Sign 1. They don't attack you. They isolate you when someone wants you gone. They rarely attack you head on. No, that would be too obvious, too risky, too easy to detect. Instead, they isolate you. They subtly push people away from you. They whisper just enough poison into the right ears. They twist your words in your absence. They plant doubts, quietly, patiently, strategically. The enemy who wants you dead doesn't swing a sword. They eliminate your allies first. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius warned about when he said, look to their motives, look to their intentions, not their words. The person who wants to destroy you doesn't shout. They manipulate. The isolation doesn't happen all at once. It starts drip by drip. Suddenly, someone who used to text you every day doesn't text back. People who once greeted you warm now give you cold, weird energy. Someone behaves differently around you for reasons you can't identify. You start replaying conversations, wondering, what did I even do? Why does this feel off? But you did nothing wrong. The wrong is happening behind closed doors. Here's the scary part. When someone wants you erased, they don't try to defeat your strength. They target your network, your relationships, your sense of belonging. Because when a person loses their support system, they become vulnerable, easier to manipulate, easier to break. Adrian didn't understand this at first, but looking back, he saw all the signs. Friends stopped inviting him places. People who used to hype him up suddenly got weirdly distant. Every success he shared was met with silence instead of support. And Marcus, the person he trusted, was the one orchestrating it all, smiling in his face while poisoning his name behind his back. Here's the Stoic truth. The first attack is almost always social, because humans fear isolation more than anything else. If you feel like someone is quietly turning the world against you, pay attention. That's not petty hate, that's strategic hostility. A person who wants you dead doesn't break your body first. They break your connections. And the worst part? Most people never see it happening until it's done. There's a moment, a subtle shift, where you start to feel someone's energy pulling away from you, like a tide retreating before a storm. And even though you can't explain it, Your soul feels the warning long before your mind understands what's happening. Adrian felt this, but he brushed it off because that's what good-hearted people do. We ignore the signs. We excuse the behavior. We say, nah, he's my friend. He'd never do that. But the Stoics would disagree. Seneca said, the first mistake is believing all men are honest. The second is believing dishonesty cannot come from a familiar face. And that brings us to the second sign, the one that exposes intention more clearly than any words ever could. Sign 2. They study your weaknesses, not your strengths. When someone hates you, they focus on what you're good at because it bothers them. But when someone wants you gone, they focus on what you're bad at. They watch you, they analyze you, they locate the cracks in your armor, and they wait. See, hatred is emotional, destruction is strategic. Adrian didn't know Marcus had been studying him the way an enemy studies a battlefield. He knew Adrian was loyal. He knew Adrian was trusting. He knew Adrian hated conflict. He knew Adrian would rather walk away than fight. So Marcus used every one of those traits against him. The person who wants you erased always looks for the quiet flaw, the insecurity, the fear, the soft spot you never show the world. They don't attack your strongest identity. They attack your private doubts. That's what makes them dangerous. Marcus never confronted Adrian, never argued, never raised his voice. Instead, he gathered information. And this is where the betrayal begins. One night, after a long week of grinding, Adrian was opening up about his plans, how he wanted to level up, move to a new city, start something bigger than anything he'd done before. He trusted Marcus with that dream. He believed Marcus wanted the best for him. But Marcus wasn't listening like a friend. He was listening like a competitor preparing an ambush. He studied the dream not to support it, but to find where he could break it. Because someone who wants you dead, metaphorically or in the darkest sense, doesn't strike where you're strong. They strike where you're blind. Marcus learned what Adrian feared most, what he struggled with, what kept him up at night. And slowly, quietly, he built a weapon out of that information. The Stoics warned us about this exact danger. Guard your inner citadel, because when someone knows what hurts you, they hold the key to your destruction. A person who wants you erased will never attack you randomly. They attack with precision. They wait until you're tired, until you're overwhelmed, until you're distracted, until you're vulnerable. Until you hand them the perfect opportunity without even realizing it. That's why this sign is so dangerous. They move like a shadow, invisible, patient, calculated. And when the moment comes, they strike exactly where you never expected. But the most horrifying part, this kind of enemy doesn't want credit for your downfall. They want it to look like you destroyed yourself. That's the level of darkness we're talking about. Marcus started planting seeds of doubt inside Adrian's own mind. Small comments here and there. Bro, I don't know. That plan sounds risky. Are you sure you can handle that? Man, you're spreading yourself too thin. People might not take you seriously with that idea. You sure you're ready for all that responsibility? Every line disguised as concern, every seed disguised as advice, every hit disguised as brotherly love. But behind the mask, he was weakening Adrian's belief in himself. A person who wants you dead doesn't need to lift a single finger. They just need you to stop believing in your own strength. And this is where Stoic wisdom becomes a weapon of protection rather than philosophy. If you know yourself, no one can confuse you. If you discipline your mind, no one can manipulate it. But Adrian didn't know this yet. He still believed Marcus was on his side, not realizing he was walking into a storm designed by someone he trusted more than family. Because betrayal doesn't happen when your enemy attacks you. It happens when your friend does. And part 3 is where the story gets darker, where Marcus makes his move, where Adrian loses everything, where the next signs reveal themselves like cold truths in the dark, and where Stoicism shows us how to survive the kind of pain most people never recover from. There's a moment in every betrayal story where the world suddenly goes quiet, where something inside you recognizes the truth your heart didn't want to see. Adrian reached that moment on a night when everything felt normal, calm, familiar, harmless. It's always on a normal day. That's how betrayal works. It waits for peace, so the destruction hits harder. Let's get into the next sign. Sign 3. They celebrate your pain more than your success. A regular hater hates when you win, but a person who wants you gone loves when you suffer. That's how you tell the difference. Watch their face when something good happens to you. Forced smile, awkward energy, eyes that don't match their words. Then watch their face when something bad happens. The spark, the little smirk they tried to hide. The sudden comfort they feel in your pain. It's sick, but it's real. Stoics knew this. Epictetus said, "When a man delights in another's suffering, he has declared war in his heart." And Marcus Aurelius warned, "See who rejoices at your misfortune. He is your enemy." Adrian saw this truth too late. The first time he experienced a real setback, a major financial loss, Marcus was the first to show up, pretending to offer support. But the tone was wrong. The words were right, but the heart behind them wasn't. Marcus seemed satisfied, almost relieved. Like he'd been waiting for Adrian to fall. Like he enjoyed watching it happen. And that's the difference. Haters are annoyed when you're up. Enemies are thrilled when you're down. Marcus wasn't just happy about Adrian's loss. He used it. He shared it around. He turned it into a story. He spun the narrative so people would see Adrian as weak, irresponsible, stupid, unstable. Every detail exaggerated, every mistake magnified. And the more Adrian hurt, the more Marcus offered help while spreading the fire behind the scenes. That's how you know you're not dealing with hate. You're dealing with malice, the kind of darkness that doesn't want your life. It wants your destruction. But things didn't stop there. No, the story gets worse. And that brings us to the fourth sign. SIGN 4. They plot when you're at your lowest. A person who wants you dead doesn't strike when you're strong. They wait until you're tired, isolated, overwhelmed, emotionally drained. That's exactly when Marcus made his move. After the financial hit, after the stress, after weeks of silent suffering and sleepless nights, Adrian was vulnerable. He didn't tell anyone how bad things were. He didn't show the world how much he was struggling. He kept everything hidden, carrying his pain alone. And Marcus took advantage of that silence. One night, Adrian found out the truth in the worst way possible. A mutual friend, someone who couldn't hold it in anymore, pulled him aside and said, "Bro, Marcus has been planning to replace you. He's been telling people you're unstable. He's been trying to get you pushed out of your own project. He even said once you're gone, things will finally run smoothly." Adrian froze. It felt like his chest caved in, like the air got ripped out of the room, like his world cracked open right beneath his feet. He didn't want to believe it, but deep down, he already knew, because betrayal doesn't hurt when it's revealed. It hurts when it's confirmed. Suddenly, everything made sense. The isolation, the fake concern, the subtle digs, the advice wrapped in poison, the weird behavior from everyone around him. Marcus wasn't reacting to Adrian's downfall. He was engineering it. Stoicism teaches us that pain is a teacher, but betrayal is an awakening. A person who wants you dead, metaphorically or otherwise, attacks when your defenses are gone, when you're too tired to fight, when you don't expect anything anymore. And Marcus picked the perfect moment. He went around telling people Adrian was unfit for leadership, that he was emotionally unstable, that he was making reckless decisions, that he was dangerous to the project and needed to be removed. Removed. That's the word that broke Adrian's soul. Not replaced, not corrected, not excluded. Removed. That was the moment Adrian realized Marcus didn't just hate him. He wanted him erased, his influence erased, his role erased, his power erased, his presence erased, and maybe even his life, because some people don't need a weapon to kill you. They just need access, opportunity, and your trust. Adrian walked home that night in silence, shaking, numb, broken in a way words can't describe. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He didn't confront Marcus. He was too stunned. He just walked, and walked, and walked. And somewhere on that walk, he remembered a line from Marcus Aurelius. The wolf does not hide among strangers. He hides among the flock. And that's when the weight lifted. Not the pain that remained, but the confusion lifted. The blindness lifted. The illusion lifted. Because finally, he saw Marcus for what he truly was. Not a friend, not a brother, not someone who drifted away, but someone who had been sharpening a blade behind his back for years. There comes a moment, the final moment, where the mask can't stay on anymore. The truth bursts through, the darkness stops hiding, and the person who's been pretending to stand beside you finally reveals they've always been standing against you. This is where everything becomes undeniable. This is the point of no return. And it leads us to the final sign. Sign 5. They make a move that proves they never cared whether you lived or died. People who just hate you, they avoid you. People who want you gone, they act, they cross a line you can't come back from. A line that forces you to admit what you didn't want to believe. For Adrian, that moment came fast and brutally. After weeks of isolation, rumors, sabotage, and manipulation, things reached a breaking point. One day, Adrian walked into a meeting, a meeting he didn't even know was happening, and the room went silent. Not nervous silent, not awkward silent, but cold silent. The kind of silence that tells you your fate has already been decided. He looked around the room, faces he had known for years, and none of them could look him in the eyes. Then Marcus walked in, calm, collected, acting like nothing was wrong. He didn't greet Adrian. He didn't nod. He didn't acknowledge him. Instead, he sat down, as if Adrian was a stranger. Someone cleared their throat and said, almost robotically, "Adrian, we've taken a vote, and we've decided to remove you, effective immediately." That's how it happens. Not with justice, not with honesty, but with a rehearsed sentence delivered by cowards. Adrian looked around, confused, stunned, shattered. Remove me? For what? Marcus finally spoke, the first time he looked Adrian in the eyes in weeks. For being unstable, he said. For being untrustworthy. For making the team unsafe. Unsafe. The exact lie Marcus had been spreading behind his back. And Adrian realized this wasn't a decision. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a disagreement. This was an execution. Social, professional, emotional, every level of it. They weren't removing him from a project. They were removing him from the picture entirely. It wasn't just betrayal. It was annihilation. And in that moment, Adrian felt something he hadn't felt in years. He felt calm. Not because he wasn't hurt. Not because he was okay with what was happening. But because the truth finally stood naked in front of him. Marcus wasn't a friend who changed. Marcus had never been a friend at all. And that realization unlocked something powerful inside him. Something the Stoics understood better than anyone. Loss is nothing. Being blind to the truth is everything. Adrian didn't fight. He didn't beg. He didn't argue. He stood up, pushed his chair in, looked Marcus in the eyes, and simply said, "Thank you for showing me who you are." Then he walked away, not weak, but free. Because sometimes walking away isn't retreat. Sometimes it's rebirth. The Stoic revelation. They didn't destroy you. They revealed themselves in his walk home. Something clicked in Adrian's mind. He remembered a line from Epictetus. When someone tries to harm you, remember, they harm themselves first. Their character collapses before yours ever does. And suddenly everything made sense. Marcus didn't betray him because Adrian was weak. He betrayed him because Adrian was strong. He wasn't threatened by Adrian's mistakes. He was threatened by Adrian's potential. He didn't want Adrian dead because Adrian was dangerous. He wanted Adrian dead because Adrian was growing. Some people don't want you destroyed because you did something wrong, but because you might do something great. That's the real threat. Marcus never wanted Adrian gone. He wanted the version of himself he could never be. His hatred wasn't emotional. It was existential. And once Adrian understood that, the pain stopped feeling like a wound and started feeling like wisdom. Some people are meant to betray you, because without their betrayal, you'd never become who you're meant to be. Betrayal is the universe removing the wrong people from your life. By force, the Stoic transformation past weeks, Adrian rebuilt alone, slowly, quietly, deliberately. And with every step forward, he realized something profound. Marcus didn't end him. Marcus freed him. He freed Adrian from fake loyalty, from hidden sabotage, from poisonous energy, from dead weight disguised as friendship. Marcus may have closed a door, but he also opened a gate, and behind that gate was a life far bigger than the one Adrian had been trapped in. Stoicism teaches us that destruction often precedes transformation. Sometimes you don't rise despite betrayal. You rise because of it. You become sharper, stronger, wiser, more grounded, more selective, more dangerous in the best way. And this became Adrian's greatest lesson. The people who want you dead rarely succeed, but they always reveal themselves. And once they do, you become untouchable. Not because you fight harder, but because you see clearer. So listen, if you've ever felt someone isolating you, if you've seen them celebrating your pain, if they studied your weaknesses, plotted in your darkest moments, or crossed that final line that showed they never cared whether you lived or died, don't break, don't crumble, don't let it turn your heart ice cold. Let it teach you, because betrayal is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your awakening. You are not broken. You are being sharpened. You are not being punished. You are being redirected. You are not losing people. You are losing illusions. And the day you finally walk away from those who want to destroy you is the day you step into the life they tried to prevent. Your rise is the greatest revenge. Your growth is the loudest justice. Your peace is the one thing they can never take. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with someone who didn't just hate you? but wanted to see you fall? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience might save someone else's life. And if you want more Stoic wisdom, more clarity, more strength, check out the other videos waiting for you on Stoic Spark. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss the daily wisdom that could change your life. This is Stoic Spark, and remember, your enemies don't decide your fate, your character does.